Hey everybody, what's up?
Hey guys!
Hey, what's up? I'm Phil. You're watching Fresh Off the Show, the unofficial live Fresh Off the Boat after show. We're doing things a little bit differently today. I'm joined in the studio in this makeshift. It's our makeshift studio this time. We're not in our regular studio, and we don't have an audience this time. But I'm joined by special guests. We have our special guests and / co-hosts.
We're the substitute Yangs for Jenny.
Yeah, substitute Jenny. Jenny, much love to you. Jenny's been on a much needed break, much deserved break. But we've got Jeff Yang. What's up, Jeff? He is a Wall Street Journal columnist, among other things. But these days he's known as father of Hudson Yang. Hello, Hudson. What's up? Hudson is he plays, of course, Eddie on Fresh Off the Boat. Yes. What's up?
What's up, dollar? Dollar for a dollar.
Okay. So we're coming to you. We had a pretty long break actually from the last Fresh Off the Show. Our last episode was after episode 2, I think. And
right? Yeah, it was which one was
Boy to Man. Yeah, Boy to Man was our last Fresh Off the Show. So we've had a lot of ground to cover. So I wanted to just kind of talk about tonight's episode, which was awesome, but then also do a little bit of just talk a little bit about the last couple episodes we missed, just touch upon those, and I don't know, just the general state of Fresh Off the Boat and Asian Americans on TV. I think there's been a lot of stuff been happening in the last month or so it's been kind of crazy. Why don't we talk about let's backtrack a little bit because we missed the episodes we missed having Fresh Off the Shows for were Shaquille O'Neal Motors, The Fall Ball, which was awesome, and Miracle on Dead Street, the Halloween episode, which was also great.
Miracle on Dead Street.
Yeah.
Actually, all three of those. I mean, honestly, I'm not tooting the show's horn more than I really have to. I mean, I've got a vested interest in the show and its success on many levels. Because of this kid, but also because honestly, it's great to see an Asian American show out there not just succeeding but taking risks in doing so.
Yeah.
And I think that those episodes, each of them, not only told a good story, was funny, but also each one kind of added a little something to the stakes, and incrementally the show's getting back to a place where it's starting to, I think, push the boundaries on what people might be comfortable with, and I like that.
I mean, I think, yes. I mean, this episode, this season has been off to just this incredible start. I think they're clearly writing for the actors because they know them and they know their strengths. They're also writing to the callbacks. They're calling back to previous episodes. They know what really worked and just stuff that we just because last year they were kind of writing in a vacuum, right? They were, and so now they have a season and then and the audience reaction behind it. So they're writing to that too. But I think it's just kind of I don't know. I'm having so much fun watching this. And Hudson, you've been doing a really awesome job. What's been your favorite part about the season so far?
My favorite part of the season was probably the Boy to Men episode.
Really? Because you like to sing?
The singing.
You like the singing? That episode was the bomb, dude.
Yeah.
You touched so many hearts that night.
Including those of the actual Boys to Men. So.
Seriously?
Yeah, they retweeted you, man.
Nice.
That's so cool. Let's see. Let's just touch upon Shaquille O'Neal Motors. I mean, that's the Shaq episode. It was the much-touted Shaq episode. But I thought it was actually super strong. For me, what was really strong about it was the chemistry between the actors, Randall and Constance, but then also you three boys. I think it was super strong. I think.
Yeah, I
You agree? Yeah,
I
you
agree.
did. You agree? You did a good job.
Well, what did you think about that one? Because it in a way, it was an episode which had you set against Forrest, against Emery and Evan. Eddie, kind of doing his own thing and seemingly burning some bridges until the very end, when you show yourself to be, the generous, good-hearted person we all know you to be in real life. But no, what did you feel about that? I mean, was it weird in some ways to kind of be the antagonist there?
No, I didn't feel any different. I mean, my character does a lot of stuff like that, which is kind of like
He's a
I
schemer.
don't want to admit it, but it's 100% true.
That episode was
Put it out
awesome
there.
with the Beanie Baby plot line
Yeah.
and everything, but also like the sort of the Shaq Fu callback. That was awesome. Okay, moving on. Let's just go quick so we can talk about all the previous episodes and then like this current episode. The fall ball was awesome. That one was really touted. Like everyone was talking about the Jeremy Lin cameo, but it was so tiny. But it was like kind of an awesome moment where like major parts of like Asian American pop culture were kind of colliding in a really awesome moment.
And I totally wish he was there more though.
Yeah.
I mean, like I got to meet him, and he was actually really good. And he's really nice.
Hey.
Yeah. On the back.
Hey. You're gonna have to get a new one though, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Many more new ones maybe. We'll see.
I think he's gonna do good on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too.
My assessment is yes too. Okay.
But
Because they beat the Bulls.
I don't think they
The
beat
Chicago-
anybody.
yeah,
Oh,
they
the
beat
Bulls tonight.
They beat the Chicago Bulls.
That's
Tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
All right.
But I think what's interesting with this episode is again it plays to a particular relationship that in this case is one that we've seen developed even from last season as being a particularly important one in the family, which is the one between Lewis and Eddie.
Yeah.
Right. But it also shows this aspect of Lewis that will come up, I think, throughout the season multiple times, which is his kind of aspiration and appreciation for kind of this particular ideal of America.
Yeah.
Which, obviously, even last season ran into Jessica's resolute resistance of
Yeah.
things American until that final episode of season 1. But I think it's really interesting that it's getting more layered now. That we're starting to see why it is that somebody who is an immigrant, can kind of take these two paths between feeling alienated and wanting to sort of remain separate from, this massive America, and otherwise kind of experiencing it as this sort of like almost candy-colored dream, which is kind of where Lewis seems to see it.
That episode also featured the dancing skills of one Hudson Yang doing the body roll.
Speaking of callbacks.
Callbacks, yeah. Tonight's episode, you were body rolling too. You did not go away. You kept those skills up.
Thursday.
Real quick, let's talk about
Thursday,
Miracle on
Thursday.
Dead Street, the Halloween episode, which was like a blast, which is like so much fun. The Halloween aspect, but also just like Jessica being boss and just incredible. That was a lot of fun.
Another callback. She's got that arm, right?
I love it. I fell in love with Jessica when she threw that onion in
The eggs,
episode 2.
like,
When she threw that egg, I was like, awesome, amazing.
and then reusing it.
I have to say that I think that episode has the funniest physical comedy sequence, one of the funniest physical comedy sequences in the entire series so far, which is the struggle of Jessica trying to cross the street to like kind of belt those boys.
Dude, that was amazing. With that,
Tic-tac you to death.
first she starts out by taking out her belt.
With a
With her belt, she's like,
It's like, no, you don't do that. Take off her
amazing.
shoe.
Yeah.
It's like, no, can't do
Incredible.
the shoe. Takes her purse. Takes out her
Mace,
spray.
yeah.
Tic tac you to death. Throws the tic tac.
Incredible. Okay, so that's like that's just us blasting through the those episodes. Congratulations, Hudson, on the back 9.
Thank
We
you.
didn't get to talk about that. That's amazing. Let's see here. Okay, let's talk about tonight's episode. Okay, so this episode is operating on a couple awesome levels. Much credit to Camilla Blackett. I think she wrote this one. We had her as a guest on the show last season. But we had 2 plots here. We had the Hudson, or we had Eddie and his first girlfriend. That was awesome. Hey.
Hey.
That one captured for me just like that perfect like middle school awkward like I like you, do you like me? Here's a note with an intermediary, that kind of
I
thing.
wish it was just middle school, dude. Honestly.
Yeah, it still happens in real life.
But yeah, seriously, it just there's something really kind of both it's nice to see the innocent side in some ways of of these characters, I mean, especially Eddie, who again in prior episodes sometimes plays the sort of like too cool for school kid, but here he and his friends are the dorks we know them to be and love them to be. And yeah, I mean, they do touch on some things that are tough to watch, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, as a former adolescent male myself,
what does that mean? What does adolescent mean?
Adolescent means your age right now. You're an adolescent.
Okay.
It made me recall my first girlfriend, circa 5th grade for me. But when look, it was very much like this in like. Look, we were like boyfriend and girlfriend in name, but like not really like, like our interaction was minimal. Was nearly not even like hey at the mall, like just like hello, and then just like and if that, you know what I mean. And so,
Sup?
Yeah. Where is she now?
Yeah, where is she now? Karen, where are you now?
Like kids.
But it was like so awkward and so like like the fact that they didn't know that they were dating was like almost like in real life for me actually. So barely,
I will say I think the one thing that kind of doesn't ring very authentic to me, because I was like of an age in that era, is this complete lack of consciousness around frankly around race or even difference, right? Even though Eddie has that set of lines where he's like going down the list and saying why each of his friends would never get a girlfriend or whatever.
Racism, dark night jacket, Negro, and sorry, you're too down.
But that doesn't seem to matter to the girls at all. I mean, is that?
Technically,
that's a little interesting.
Evan did get dumped because he's a tear down, and they do need to do those things. Oh, Dave. You guys don't know what his real name is, but now you do. I just told. Still know.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that was definitely putting on some blinders, I thought, or very optimistic sort of for the show. I think. I want to. Oh my gosh, how did the time go so quickly? Okay, let's go. Okay, so we need to go to the beef of this episode, which I thought was like so crazy brilliant. Like firing on like way meta cylinders, like crazy ass, just genius level writing. Gene Kayan, I think this is Gene Kayan, right? Gene Kayan says, this episode is an instant classic and required viewing for all APA studies courses nationwide. Okay, so we're talking about this thing about like when Lewis goes on to the Orlando morning show, right? And he's like, he's like cracking jokes and he's being a real entertainer. And then Jessica immediately calls him, basically calls him a long duck dong, which is like, people need to understand, like people of a certain generation, long duck dong hangs over us. As like it was sort of like the one Asian face that sort of penetrated pop culture in the 80s, and it was like
the donger.
The donger. I mean, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? And so this episode is just playing with that level of like, if you're being the one Asian in a space, you have to represent. You have to work. You can't be too much of a clown.
Wait, what do you call that again? There's some neologism.
I believe that is called. It's a term that some sociologists coined it last year, called rep sweats. Rep sweats. Yeah. Yes. Holla, Jenny Yang,
wherever you are. But yeah, the meta qualities of the show. I mean, because the show is commenting on a period, especially for those who kind of grew up in that era, where a lot of the things that we do talk about in APA studies classes, where a lot of the issues that we kind of still confront on places like Twitter were first being introduced. It's kind of staring at its own, infinite reflections in a mirror, right? This episode was about an Asian American show looking back at the things that make an Asian American show so difficult and so necessary at the same time. Right, because back then there really wasn't anything except for Pat Morita, and Long Duck Dong, right? And what's interesting is allowing Jessica to take that role of being the kind of commentator, the outsider, to America, commenting on what it means to sort of be Asian American, and Lewis as a sort of aspirational Asian American is what makes that possible.
Yeah,
right. So I thought it was pretty brilliant too. I do wonder how it's going to play in Peoria or Arkansas.
So somebody noted that this show is operating on that level in a meaning. It's like that only Asian Americans are really gonna get. It's like Grace Lynch says it's like in Disney movies. There's a storyline for adults that kids don't notice. Like that story was for Asians,
What storylines for adults?
Just this representation. You won't notice. Yeah. And then what's this one here? This one says, Grace says, I feel like Lewis is a proxy for every Asian person who's tried to bring up Asians in race talk.
Totally. And the reaction of the uncomfortable reactions of the white people on screen there so clearly mirrored.
Yeah.
Often the way that even very earnest people or very open-minded people just do not want to go there.
Oh, whoa, that's serious. And,
and the thing is, I mean, I love the idea that some aspects of the show are kind of like pitched at a frequency only Asian Americans can hear, kind of. It's like reverse dog whistling or something like that, because it means that the show is again starting to get back to that place where it's pushing back at just being a funny thing, and I think it was always intended to do more of that, and this episode definitely takes it back to those roots, I guess, from the very first episode where you just like drop a load of Asian American in the middle of the room, and we'll and then the mic on top.
I love that they're just like they're sneaking that in there, and it's I don't know. Hudson, what do you think about that?
I don't know.
He has not actually seen 16 Candles. I've tried to preserve his innocence.
It's okay, man.
Yeah.
Is that the thing with the wish? Like she's like she has candles and she blows them out, and every time she blows them out, there's like a wish.
I think it's Hanukkah. No, I'm just kidding.
And then the wish always comes true.
No, that's not 16 Candles.
You don't have to see 16 Candles, man.
What's it about?
The donger.
Yeah, it's anyway. But so the what is this? It's like the 6th episode now. I can't even remember.
Episode 6. Yeah,
episode 6.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're seeing is kind of this arc of Eddie growing up, and the next couple of episodes, I think you'll see more of that, which is going to be really interesting.
So you're privy to the upcoming episodes?
Yeah,
You've seen
I have some leaks from production,
some inside scoops. Okay,
but I think what's important there too is that this is where all the characters start being able to do more and different things. Like they're breaking out of their shells as well.
Right.
And and to his credit, Hudson's been fantastic at just kind of taking all these things thrown at him and stepping up.
I know he's so mature,
Even though he spent this whole time making faces in the camera.
Hudson, how do you feel about where your character's going, and looking back at even the first season to now, like how much he's grown?
I like the way he's going. I think he's doing a lot more like physical things and more things that I can do that are fun. And I think I kind of like threw it up there sometimes. I want him to start like exploring cooking more, because I think that's
cooking,
that's a really good.
I thought he said hooking.
Explore.
I was like, what? I was like, what?
No.
Cooking, because that's a thing that I like to do, and I would like to see
Cool.
him try it, like so that I can actually do it in the show, and it'll be fun.
You made quesadillas.
Yeah.
Fajita, man.
That was with the
With
that was with the iron. And the fajitas I didn't make. I just delivered. Delivered. I delivered them.
Are you enjoying being a lover boy?
Yes, I'm like that in real life too. I am like so charming, and I'm just like throwing that charm out there. I wish. Catch it.
Let's see here. We got here watching Fresh Off the Boat. Is that the one? Oh yeah, watching Fresh Off the Boat and Grandma wheeling out. The boombox.
Oh God, yeah.
Dude, that's the way love goes.
That's the way love goes.
Dude, that is the best. I love that song. I love Janet Jackson. And then they call back to doing that wheeling Grandma out and do that again. Amazing.
Yeah, especially with the body roll thrown back in there, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes, put the body roll.
That's not gonna be a signature
No, Hudson,
move.
you got that body roll on lock.
I want to do the pimp walk though. Hey,
Can you combine the two? Sort of like a pimp roll or
I was on set that day. You guys were like practicing and learning that one.
oh.
Watching the squad of boys do that was like the most awkward thing I've ever seen. It was amazing.
It's going.
Mr. Boombastic.
And so I was like, one was going like.
Let's see. In our sort of in the last kind of moments of the show, I wanted to talk about not only Fresh Off the Boat, but we also got Dr. Ken.
Yeah.
And I wanted to sort of talk about sort of the landscape of what's going on in Asian Americans on TV, because right now is a crazy, unprecedented time that I could not even foresee like even 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
It's weird and magical. Yes, it's like, if there was some sort of dam, that was holding back all of this Asian American content and kind of
And we
cultural
broke
substation.
it. TNT.
You did it. You did
are
it.
the TNT.
You
that-
did it.
Yes, I used all my destruction and griefing skills. Just go out to the wall and be like, die! And it exploded.
You did it, man.
And it's slow, but I only did a tiny bit, so it's slowly leaking out. I'm just pulling the string, just like unraveling the yarn, and it's
Yeah.
coming down. I have more people coming in every time.
It was all
And
you.
They just come helping me.
All
And
right.
10 times, now I have 20 people. I just have pulling on the string, and now there's like 5 billion people.
I think he's having a psychotic break. No, but for real, it was a yeah, it has been a really like amazing and signal year, like a milestone year for Asian America. Dr. Ken coming out there, succeeding, blowing away expectations.
Yeah, on a Friday night.
On a Friday night,
Yeah.
and actually holding and sometimes beating its lead. That's
Yeah.
just amazing.
Yeah.
Props to Ken
What's his
Jeong
lead?
and Albert Tsai and Krista
Susie
Maria,
Nakamura.
Susie Nakamura,
Killing it.
killing
Killing
every
it.
single week.
I've been really that show has definitely surprised a lot, and I think it kind of like, we'll be honest, like it got kind of savaged by critics, at least coming out of the gate. But and I've watched every episode. I'm like, it's definitely improved exponentially with each episode as they've sort of written to the characters and found their groove. So I really appreciate the fact that it's actually holding its own, and then it's like a completely different show than Fresh Off the Boat. You know what I mean? Which I think it was necessary. You know what I mean?
I think that's the point in a lot of ways, right? The reason why we don't want just one, again,
because our show is the best at what we do. And so if Ken tried to copy our idea, he would be taken down.
Well, no.
Unless he was a good enough writer, which he probably is.
He is. And for what it's worth, what they do, they are carving out a totally unique space for themselves as well. I think that
I like his show.
Yeah, there's room for multicam. There's room for the sort of traditional sitcom.
For sure.
And I've long said, I feel like
I thought it was multicam.
it is multicam.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is there's room for it. And I think that in a lot of ways, they actually had the harder burden because, when you're the first, you get all that extra attention and sort of like, people making give you a little bit of margin for error because you're first. When you're second, you compare to the first. I would say that is true for your little brother, for instance. Right, Skylar out there? It's tough to be the second. And I'd say that, it was smart of them to do a very different kind of show and to do a remarkably
Well.
Yeah, and I think that Ken is an incredible talent. The cast is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to both these shows playing for a very long time.
Yeah, we got Dr. Ken. We got let's say Quantico, completely different show with the Indian American lead, Priyanka Chopra, who's sort of ridiculously gorgeous in every like. I always have to note like how awesome her hair looks in like every episode. She'll be crawling out of like exploded rubble, and she just looks fabulous. What else have we got? Into the Badlands coming out.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That one in particular because it's first of all they're going to introduce it following Walking Dead. Yeah, so they're fire hosing traffic at it. Yeah. Second of all, the action sequences are insane. Yeah, they're amazing.
So we've seen the first episode, and I've seen the second one too, and the action is legit, like straight up like the best, most intense, legit action I've seen on an American TV show. Period.
I haven't seen them yet.
You'll be seeing it very soon, actually. Thursday, in fact, I think. But I think that the fact that Daniel Wu, who is Asian American, grew up in the Bay Area, before making his way out to Asia to try to create a career for himself when there wasn't any room for that here in Hollywood. He's coming back as not just an action hero, but a romantic lead, and as somebody who is playing what I'd say is an iconic role.
Yeah. I mean, that show was conceived as a martial arts show, but when they went into creating it, they were like, the lead needs to be Asian, So I was like, that's pretty cool. And Daniel Wu is definitely poised to be like that guy, Plenty of shots of him with his shirt off in the opening episode. So don't worry.
I mean, in a way, it's like if Fresh Off the Boat, had to kind of retread the ground of like All American Girl. In a lot of ways, Into the Badland is sort of like retreading the ground and taking back, kung fu, right? And actually putting an Asian American in the lead this time.
Absolutely. Let's see, real quick, we've got there's Master of None coming out. Aziz Ansari's new show.
Brilliant.
It looks amazing. I'm so stoked for that one.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. And then one thing I wanted to note was Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is like, I resisted that.
He likes that.
I resisted that on every level, and then I watched it, and I was like, "This is so funny! It's so good."
I was so kind of worried about
the musical aspect.
Oh, the musical is fantastic.
They're really good.
The music's the best part.
Yeah. But I was concerned about it in a lot of ways. I saw the pilot. I thought it was very funny, but I felt like it could go down this path of just being really terrible in a lot of ways. In its depiction of women in particular, but. The fact is, the cast is fantastic. The writing is pretty strong.
Yeah.
More I agree, the musical writing than the actual
They have really
dialogue
talented
writing.
people.
Really talented, and Vincent.
I mean, I bring it up because of Vincent Rodriguez, the third, right?
As
Josh Chang.
Oh my God.
He's really cool.
He killed it.
Yeah.
That
boy band number?
That
Yeah.
was
Incredible.
Before Josh's.
Incredible.
Wait, is he Spanish or like what is he?
He's
Filipino.
Yeah.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And also and it was like the part where like I thought the funniest part of that part was like when he was like it was like the tune was good and then there was like one part where like he's listing a ton of stuff so it's like
Oh yeah. Also, like, what is
Yeah.
it? A board certified.
Yeah.
also going to Harvard. Da, 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 da.
All right. Well, it's almost about time to wrap up. We're almost at time. So I want to thank everybody who's watching. We will be back. I think so the thing we've been on a break because like Jenny and I have both been traveling and been busy. Jenny's been on a like awesome extended European vacation. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but she was, and it's incredible. And then I'm on vacation next week actually. So we've been kind of crisscrossing. But I think Jenny has committed to doing a show next week. So tune in for that. And then we'll be back together sometime after that, and we'll do this again. We're not going anywhere. We're still doing this because as long as Fresh Off the Boat's around, we'll be doing this. So I want to thank our guests, Jeff Yang and Hudson Yang. Yay! This kid needs to go to sleep,
I
y'all.
know, right? I'm so tired.
All right, let's go.
All right, but thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. And please tweet us and at hashtag Fresh Off the Show. I forgot to mention that at the top of the show, so whatever. Fresh Off the Show. And thanks so much for your support, and we'll see you next time. Bye.